If you have been watching this school series from the beginning, thank you. In video 1, we broke down how Great Schools actually calculates that rating. In video 2, we went 5 layers deeper, the same district trap, the college readiness tab, the academic pressure conversations, why your relative's API score advice is outdated. If you haven't watched those yet, I'll link both above. They will make everything in this video land harder. Because this is where we apply all of it. Today, I'm giving you the most honest, practical guide to public school districts across the 4 counties I work in every day: Santa Clara, Alameda, San Mateo, and San Francisco. I'm going to tell you which districts are genuinely elite, which ones are underrated, which ones are overpriced relative to what you're getting, and most importantly, the specific things you need to verify before you put in an offer. Here's what I see happen constantly. A family relocates from out of states or from India. They do their research, they pick a neighborhood that looks great on paper, and they close on the house. Then they discover their kids are not going to the school they thought they were going to. Sometimes it's because the school boundaries changed. Sometimes it's because they didn't understand that elementary and high school are served by completely different districts. And sometimes it's because they trusted a Zillow listing that said top rated schools, and Zillow was working with outdated data. I'm Sana. Let's get you the real picture. Quick orientation for anyone who's joining this series here for the first time, and a useful reminder even if you watched video 1 and video 2. In most of the US, a school district covers K through 12. One district, one superintendent, one boundary map. You live in the district, your kids go to all grades within it. In the Bay Area, that is often not how it works. Many parts of this region have split system. Elementary and middle school, K through 8, are served by one district. 9 through 12 is served by completely separate district with completely different boundaries. And as I explained in video 2, even within a single district, different schools can have dramatically different quality levels. The district rating is an average. The school your child attends is what matters. I'm going to call this out at every county because it trips even the most prepared buyers. The classic example I'll cover in detail. Cupertino Union covers K through 8 only. Fremont Union High School District covers 9 through 12. 2 different districts, 2 different boundary maps, 1 address. You need to research both. Okay, county by county, let's go. If you are relocating as a tech family and schools are your top priority, this is where most serious buyers are looking, alongside specific parts of Alameda County, which we'll get into in a few minutes. The crown jewel of Bay Area elementary education, Cupertino Union, covers K through 8 and serves Cupertino, Sunnyvale, parts of San Jose, and parts of Santa Clara. The numbers are remarkable. Ranked 18 out of over 1,900 school districts in California, top 1% statewide, average math proficiency is 84% compared to California average of 36%. Reading proficiency is also 84% against a 47% state average. This is not a close comparison. The flagship elementary is William Faria Elementary in Cupertino, consistently top 5 elementary schools in all of California. Murdoch Portal Elementary in San Jose is also exceptional. Why does Cupertino Union perform this way? The district has an extraordinarily high concentration of academically engaged families, tech workers, engineers, professionals from India, China, Taiwan, Korea, who place enormous emphasis on education. PTAs here are among the most active in California, funding enrichment programs that go far beyond what states provide. And the district attracts strong teachers precisely because of the community support. For Sunnyvale buyers specifically, parts of Sunnyvale fall within Cupertino Union's boundaries. This surpasses many people because the city name doesn't match the district name. If you are looking at Sunnyvale, always verify which elementary district your specific address falls into. It is not automatic. One honest note: the academic environment here is intense, even at the elementary level. Many students attend outside enrichment programs, Russian School of Math, Art of Problem Solving on top of regular school. In video 2, we talked about the academic pressure question, knowing whether your child thrives under competition or needs breathing room. That question is specifically relevant here. This culture suits many families perfectly. For others, it can feel like a lot very early. Once students graduate from Cupertino Union, most feed into Fremont Union High School District for high school. 5 schools: Monta Vista in Cupertino, Lynbrook in San Jose, Cupertino High, Homestead in Sunnyvale, and Fremont High. Lynbrook High School is ranked 82 nationally by US News, the top ranked Bay Area public high school in recent national rankings. ELA proficiency is 93.7%, math is 92.2%. In competitive academic contest, Lynbrook consistently outperforms schools with much larger profiles. Monta Vista is close behind. Top 20 public high schools in California, 85 to 90% math proficiency, 85 student clubs, including nationally recognized student newspaper. The critical boundary point: which school your child attends depends entirely on your specific address. A street in San Jose might feed into Lynbrook. A street 1 mile away in Cupertino might feed into Monta Vista. The maps don't follow city lines intuitively. Always verify the specific high school assignment before you make an offer. This is most common expensive mistake I see buyers make in this area. Palo Alto Unified is one of the few truly unified K-12 districts in the Bay Area. Same district, all grades, one set of boundaries. Much easier to research. If you are in Palo Alto Unified, you are in it for elementary, middle, and high. Elementary feeds schools into Jordan and Turman, middle both A+ rated on niche, and then into either Palo Alto High or Henry Gunn High. Gunn High is ranked 9 in California by niche. Highest AP 5-score rates among analyzed Bay Area schools. Exceptional college matriculation to highly selective universities. Palo Alto High is equally well regarded, with a stronger reputation for arts and humanities alongside rigorous STEM. If you want a Bay Area public school that develops the whole student rather than exclusively optimizing for math and science, Pali has a genuine reputation for that. Now, here's the funding story that explains why Palo Alto schools have significantly more resources than almost anywhere in the state. And this connects to a concept I'll be covering in a dedicated video soon, that is Basic 8 districts. Palo Alto Unified is what's called a Basic 8 district. Here's a short version. California sets a minimum funding amount per student that's supposed to be filled by local property taxes plus the state money. In most districts, property taxes don't fill that bucket, so the state tops it up. But in Palo Alto, where home values are among the highest in the country, local property taxes don't just fill the bucket, they overflow it. And under California law, the district keeps all of that overflow. The state steps back entirely. The result? Palo Alto Unified spends around $25,000 per student per year. The California state average is about $10,000 to $12,000. Teachers earn among the highest salaries in California. The district attracts and retains exceptional educators, and the parent foundations donate millions more on top of that, with an ask of $1,500 per child per year. And Palo Alto is not the only basic district in the Bay Area. There are more of them than most people realize. Some of them will genuinely surprise you. And some of them offer excellent schools at a lower home prices than Palo Alto precisely because they are less well known. I'm covering all of them in a dedicated video. I'll link it here when it's live. The honest Palo Alto trade-off is that home starts around $3 million in most of the district. The school quality is absolutely real. What you are now equipped to understand from everything we have covered across the series is why that premium is structural, not just perception. You are buying into a funding mechanism, not just a neighborhood. Now let's talk about Alameda County. Alameda County gives you something Santa Clara County mostly doesn't. World-class public school quality at meaningfully lower home prices. Not cheap, this is still Bay Area, but the price premium for the top school is lower in Fremont than in Cupertino or Palo Alto. And if you've been watching this series, you now have the tools to verify that beyond the headlight rating. Fremont Unified covers K through 12 in one unified system, which is simpler to research than split districts in Santa Clara County. The crown jewel is Mission San Jose High School, consistently ranked in top 1% high schools nationally. UC system acceptance rate around 90% of applying seniors. More than 10 students admittedly annually to Harvard, MIT, and Stanford from this single public high school. Elementary and middle school feeding into Mission San Jose, Gomes Elementary, Hopkins Junior High are right here in the same neighborhood. The experience of going K through 12 in a tight geographic community where many of the same families stay together for years creates a cohesion that's genuinely different from more transient districts. Why does Mission San Jose perform this way? Same drivers as Cupertino Union, a highly educated, academically focused parent community, predominantly immigrants from India and South and East Asia, who treat academic achievement as foundational. The MPTA raises significant funds for enrichment, and a culture has built up over decades where academic ambition is simply the baseline expectation. And as I mentioned in video 2, if you're weighing this environment against a slightly less pressure school, the UC context-based review policy is worth remembering. UC admissions readers know what a 4.0 from Mission San Jose cost a student. They evaluate it accordingly. Now let's talk about Irvington. Irvington is Fremont's other standout school. Strong STEM magnet program, genuinely well ranked. The neighborhood around Irvington runs $400K to $700K less than equivalent Mission San Jose homes. For many buyers, Irvington is an excellent school and the savings are real. Don't dismiss it simply because Mission San Jose gets more attention. I want to add a district here that most school videos skip. It is Dublin Unified in Tri-Valley. Dublin has quietly become one of the most top-rated unified districts in Northern California over the last decade, and it's increasingly on the radar for tech families, particularly those working along 680 corridor or those who have some remote flexibility. Home prices in Dublin are meaningfully lower than Fremont and significantly lower than Cupertino. The district covers K through 12 in a unified system, and the community with a large and growing South Asian tech family presence has the same academically engaged parent culture that drives outcomes in Cupertino and Fremont. The trade-off, though, is commute. You're adding 20 to 40 minutes to most South Bay tech campuses, but for families where one spouse works remotely or who are priced out of Mission San Jose corridor, Cupertino area, Dublin Unified deserves serious consideration. Quick mention of Pleasanton Unified. Neighboring Dublin is also consistently ranked at the top of Northern California districts. Similar profile, similar commute consideration. If you're looking at Tri-Valley broadly, research both Dublin and Pleasanton before settling on an address. San Mateo County is the next. San Mateo County, the peninsula between San Francisco and Silicon Valley, and attracts families who need to commute in both directions. You are paying some of the highest home prices in California here. The schools are excellent, but I want to be honest with you about the value equation in a way most content doesn't. Hillsborough City USD is tiny, about 1,200 students, 4 schools, but it's one of the most well-resourced public elementary programs in California. A plus rating on niche, the highest in San Mateo County. Technically public, but the community is among the wealthiest in the Bay Area. With home values routinely above $4 million, parents' funding and engagement levels reflect that. After 8th grade, Hillsborough students feed primarily into San Mateo Union High School District. Let's talk about Menlo Park City School District, which is also K through 8. It's another small, high-performing K through 8 district covering parts of Menlo Park and Atherton. A rating on niche. Like Hillsborough, it feeds into separate high school district at 9th grade. Now, here's a critical distinction for buyers. Menlo Park City School District is not the same as Ravenswood City Elementary, which also serves part of Menlo Park and East Palo Alto. These are dramatically different in quality. They can share a same zip code and look identical on a map. This is exactly the same district trap we discussed in video 2, applied to a city boundary rather than a district boundary. Know exactly which elementary district your specific address falls in. Call the district if you're unsure. Now let's talk about high schools across San Mateo County. They fall into 2 main districts. Sequoia Union High covers Redwood City, Menlo Park, and Atherton. Calmont High, Woodside High, and Sequoia High, among others. San Mateo Union covers San Mateo, Burlingame, Hillsborough, and surroundings, including Mills High, which is consistently one of the stronger Peninsula public high schools and worth looking at more carefully than its name recognition suggests. These are well-resourced suburban high school districts, good outcomes, solid college prep, a meaningful step above California average. But I want to be honest. They are not in the same tier as Fremont Union or Palo Alto Unified in terms of elite academic performance matrix. That's not a criticism. It is just calibration. If you're coming from out of state and landing in San Mateo County for schools, you will get excellent, not elite. If elite academic performance metrics are your non-negotiable and you have thought carefully about the pressure question, the better value plays in this region are across County Line in Palo Alto Unified or across the Bay in Fremont. Here is my honest San Mateo summary. You are paying top of the state home prices for schools that are very good but not the very best. The exception is Hillsborough. If schools are your primary driver, make sure the specific district you land in justify the price point at your specific address. Now let's move on to San Francisco. I'm going to be honest here in a way that most real estate content isn't. Because school situation in San Francisco has more nuance than any other county we have discussed. And you deserve the full picture before you commit to a neighborhood. SFUSD serves over 50,000 students across more than 10 schools. Average test score sit above California average, 44% math proficiency versus the state's 34%. 53% reading versus 47%. They are genuinely excellent schools within the district. But the challenge for relocating family isn't the quality of the schools. It is a system of getting into them. Lowell High is one of the best high schools on the West Coast by almost any metric. Math proficiency is 83%, reading is 96%. Merit-based admission, a process that was controversially switched to lottery during the pandemic and then restored after significant community pushback. As of 2026, merit-based admission is back in place. This is genuinely a world-class public school. Here's what you need to know if you're relocating to San Francisco with young children. SFUSD uses a lottery-based enrollment system. Your home address does not guarantee you a spot at your neighborhood school. You submit a ranked list of up to 10 schools, and an algorithm assigns placement based on demand, priority factors, and availability. About 65% of incoming kindergarten families get their first choice. 35% do not. If you are new to the city without siblings already in the system, which is a priority factor, your odds of getting your top choice are lower still. For tech families relocating specifically for school quality, I always have a very direct conversation about this. If a specific school is non-negotiable for you, if the plan depends on a particular placement, San Francisco may not be the right county. The districts we cover in Santa Clara and Alameda give you a direct, predictable link between your home address and your child's school. San Francisco doesn't do that. We have covered a lot of ground today, and if you have come through all 3 videos in this series, you now have a framework for evaluating the Bay Area schools that genuinely goes beyond anything most buyers or most realtors have. Before I give you the summary, 4 things I want to say that most school content skips. 1 is the K to 8 and 9 to 12 split is the most expensive surprise in Bay Area real estate. I have said it in every section today, and I'll say it one more time plainly. Elementary and high schools are often separate districts, separate boundaries, separate research requirements. Research both for every address you are seriously considering, not the neighborhood, the address. 2. Boundaries change. School district boundaries are redrawn based on enrollment shifts, new housing, and policy decisions. A boundary that applies today may not apply when your 3-year-old starts kindergarten. Build in a conversation with your realtor about any recent or anticipated boundary changes in your target areas. 3. The stress culture. The stress culture is a real factor that rankings do not capture. We spent real time on this in the previous video, and it belongs here too. The top Bay Area schools produce extraordinary outcomes. They also generate extraordinary pressure. Visit the school. Talk to current parents, not just the rankings or forums. The culture of a school can shift meaningfully in just a few years. 4. Outside enrichment is Bay Area norm at top schools. Rankings are measuring student outcomes, and many of those outcomes are driven by programs like Russian School of Math, Art of Problem Solving, and private tutoring happening outside the school hours. The school is excellent, and the community treats education as a family-wide project. Knowing what environment you are signing up for before you buy in. Now let's do a quick one-line summary by county. Santa Clara County is the highest concentration of elite schools in California. Cupertino Union Plus, Cupertino Union Plus, Fremont Union High, Palo Alto Unified, and a cluster of basic 8 districts make this the gold standard. The home prices reflect it. Second is Alameda County. Mission, San Jose, and Fremont Unified deliver genuinely elite outcomes at a lower price premium than Peninsula. Dublin and Pleasanton add strong, more affordable options in Tri-Valley. Great value if commute works for you. Third is San Mateo County. Excellent school across the board, best in class at Hillsborough and the Palo Alto Unified border areas. Higher prices relative to quality tier outside those pockets. Verify specific district carefully. Fourth is San Francisco County. Lowell High is exceptional. The lottery system makes elementary planning genuinely unpredictable. Go in with clear eyes and a strategy and not just a neighborhood preference. If you have watched all 3 videos in the series, you now understand how school ratings are built, how to read them critically, and which specific districts to look at across the 4 counties. That is a more complete picture of Bay Area school research than most buyers ever get. I hope it's been useful. The full written breakdown is on my website. Every district we discuss, current test score data, boundary resources, and the cities where each one applies. Free, no email required. And if you're in active search mode and schools are a top factor, book a call. I work with families across all 4 of these counties, and I know these boundary maps, neighborhood by neighborhood. That's the link below. If this series helped you, please share it. Not for me, for the next family who lands in the Bay Area and needs to figure this out. These are videos I wish had existed when I moved here.